everyone, welcome to Wager Talk. My name is Minty, and joining me today is Bruce Marshall at Bruce A. Marshall on Twitter and Ralph Michaels at Cal Sports LV. This Saturday, we've got Michigan at Indiana. Okay, so Indiana hasn't won against Michigan since like 1987-ish. And Shea Patterson.
When were you born?
1993.
Okay.
Well, I had to look it up, okay, Ralph? But I was going to say, Shea Patterson had a really great game last week against Michigan State. He's going to ride that high and beat Indiana on their own field. Ralph?
You know, I talked to Marco, and we're doing this video before his was shot, but I know this is his sandwich game.
It is his sandwich.
You know, on Indiana. And this is a game that I tweeted out in the summer. You go through, you look at the schedule, you mark spots. I said I actually tweeted out probably in July, this could be the worst scheduling spot in college football this year. Okay. Michigan being, you know, off Michigan State with Ohio State on deck, playing Indiana on the road as a road favorite. So, you know, with that being said, I love what Michigan's doing. They finally made the right step. Patterson's doing what he's doing, but I don't think Indiana's offense gets enough credit. I am a huge fan of Kalen DeBoer, and he's the OC of Indiana. And if you go back and look at his history, he took an Eastern Michigan squad that was about as pathetic as Akron is this year, turned it into a dynamic offense. He then went to Fresno State, turned them into a dynamic offense. He is now here turning them into a dynamic offense. He, to me, is the Broyles Award winner. It'll probably go to LSU, but, you know, to me, he is the best offensive coordinator in there. Ramsey passed for, 370 yards and had 460 yards against Penn State. I think Indiana's a live dog. I think they're headed in the right direction. I think that Indiana football is finally coming back and very close to being back.
Bruce?
Well, I'll tell you, the last time, back to '87, I was driving back to Chicago from South Bend. The only time I went to Notre Dame, I watched USC play Notre Dame that day, and the Irish won 26-15, and we were listening.
What was the spread?
Don Fisher was calling the games in Indiana, and he's still calling the games for him. 14-10. Indiana won that game. Dave Snell was the quarterback. I don't quite remember what the spread was, but it was 14-10. So it's been a long time since they beat him. Now, here's the sandwich. Yeah, if you buy the sandwich spot, I mean, Indiana's got its big rival next week too, Purdue. It's not, maybe Michigan, Ohio State. My gut feel is that the letdown is a much bigger thing than the look ahead. I can only relate to when I was a player a long time ago, but growing up around this stuff and around players, you're looking at your next game. There's a lot of reasons you can lose. Michigan could lose this, but they're looking at Indiana. This is my gut feel, but it can happen because, like what Ralphie said, Indiana's not bad. And it doesn't matter that Ramsey's in at quarterback. He's pretty good. He had been their starter before. Listen, Penix just beat him out. Penix was fine. But Ramsey's fine too, almost 400 yards passing last week.
He had a year and a half starting.
Year and a half as a starter,
yeah.
And he's been very good. Now, I will give Harbaugh credit for one thing. I think he has taken his hands off of this. He tends to micromanage, and when Josh Gaddis came in here coordinating this offense, more spread, more no huddle, they were doing some things, and you could tell the first month they weren't quite operating the way Gaddis would have liked. He's followed the lead of what Ed Orgeron has done at LSU, taken his hands off, step back, let Gaddis run this offense, and let Patterson go. Nice game for Patterson last week. Best game of the year, 4 touchdown passes. They're not running as good as Harbaugh would like, but Patterson's dynamic. Add it up, though. Indiana's dangerous. And yeah, and by the look ahead, though, coaches coach a little bit differently, too. So maybe that does come into play here. But Indiana's live this week. We had a 30-28 Wolverines in the gold sheet, but that's a vote like Ralph for Indiana.
One more stat.
Yes. Please.
Michigan, with Patterson a quarterback, at home 64% completions. On the road, 50% completions on the road. And it's Wisconsin, Illinois, Penn State, Maryland. So 2 weaker teams, 2 decent teams, but a big home road disparity there for the pass offense.
I like that. Thank you, guys. Don't forget to check out our new show, Bet on It, the college edition, exclusively on Wager Talk TV.